Outsiders solve problems. Just ask goats. In a study of how animals respond to the unknown, goats and camels, especially those with a lower social position, proved most capable of liberating a snack from a cup. Fair or not, goats have not earned a reputation for their problem-solving abilities. Crows and chimpanzees are better known for deftly tackling new and unusual situations, like a snack that requires a tool to reach. But if you hide food in a strange cup and put a lid on it, a goat may find a way, a new study finds. And not just any goat, a team of researchers says. Animals that functioned like outsiders in their social group were best at tackling and solving a problem. It can be difficult to study innovation in many animals, which psychologists define as solving new problems or solving old problems in new ways, said Alvaro Coya, a psychology graduate student at the University of Barcelona. Put something new and unusual nearby and a lot of species will flee. In the wild, new and unusual often means deadly. Many studies have focused on primates and birds, which can be less skittish, but these can only take us so far, Mr. Coya said. If we want to have a comprehensive idea of how cognition evolves, he said, we cannot always be testing the same species. So, cue the goats, and the oryxes, and the Barbary sheep, and the Przewalski's horses, the giraffes, the dromedary camels, and a variety of other hoofed mammals. Mr. Coya and his colleagues looked at 13 species of hoofed mammals, with their study totaling 111 individuals living in zoos in Spain and Germany. They chose a variety of animals for a reason. Some of these animals have complex diets in the wild. Some live in groups that break up and then reform. And some are domesticated. All of these characteristics might affect their ability to think outside the box. Considering a mix of mammals meant that the researchers could see whether different lifestyles influenced the animal's ability to solve a problem. For each species, the researchers chose a particularly irresistible food, carrots, alfalfa or another treat, and put them in lidded cups in their enclosures. Then the researchers waited to see what would happen. In a study published on Wednesday in the Proceedings of the Royal Society B, Mr. Coya and his colleagues reported that around 38% of the animals avoided the cups entirely. Of those who approached a cup, 40 individuals managed to take the lids off to reach the food. 86% of the dromedaries and 69% of the goats managed to get the goods. Living in a more complex social group or being domesticated, true of both camels and goats, were each linked to a greater willingness to take part in the task, although neither was a guarantee of success. I think this is a great way to understand the cognition that underlies a particular behavior across species, said Joshua Plotnick, a comparative psychologist at Hunter College in Manhattan who was not involved in the study but reviewed the experiment's design. What was linked to success as well as to willingness was an individual animal's social position. Close observation of the animals allowed the researchers to construct hierarchies of their social groups. They found that animals that were outcasts or low in the pecking order had less fear of new objects, more willingness to explore them, and a greater chance of getting the prize. It's not clear whether these findings hold true in the wild. Living in a zoo might encourage different behaviors than living on, say, the savannah. But there might be good reasons that those excluded from the group would be more open to trying new things. The ones that are on the margins of the groups are the ones that are eating less and have more problems surviving in nature, Mr. Coya said speculatively, so those are the ones that normally take more risks to get food. Necessity, perhaps, is the mother of innovation. This elephant taught herself to peel bananas. An elephant at the Berlin Zoo can use her trunk to peel bananas, an unusual behavior she engages in only when conditions are ripe. Pang Fa is an elephant of discriminating taste. Offer her a yellow or green banana and she will hoover it up whole, peel and all. Proffer a brown banana, and she is likely to turn her long nose up at it, casually tossing it aside. But give this Asian elephant, who lives at the Berlin Zoo, a yellow banana speckled with brown, and she might do what none of her pachyderm companions do. Peel it. She will snap the banana in half with the tip of her trunk and then shake the fruit until the fleshy interior slides out. Then she'll devour the pulp, leaving the peel behind. It's quite skillful, said Michael Brecht, a neuroscientist at Humboldt University of Berlin and one of the authors of a new paper on Pang Fa's ability to peel that was published on Monday in the journal Current Biology. She clearly optimized the behavior. Dr. Brecht and his colleagues suspect that Pang Fa, who was raised at the zoo, developed her method after watching her caretakers peel the fruit for her. The behavior is not unprecedented. There are anecdotal reports and online videos of other elephants peeling their fruit, and several outside experts said they were not convinced that Pang Fa had learned the habit from humans. But her behavior is interesting, scientists said, and highlights how skilled elephants are at manipulating objects. Banana peeling is another example of how dexterous the elephant's trunk is. Joshua Plotnick, a comparative psychologist at Hunter College in New York City, said in an email. It's a wonderful built-in tool that the elephant uses for a variety of purposes. The study got off to a slow start, after zookeepers told Dr. Brecht, who studies elephant behavior and neurobiology, about Pang Fa. Researchers spent weeks plying her with bananas, but they never saw the signature peeling behavior her keepers had promised. We would bring always the nicest banana we could find for her, and she would just never peel it, Dr. Brecht said. Eventually, the researchers realized that she would peel only bananas that were at the right level of ripeness, seeming to prefer the yellow-brown ones in particular. That is probably because those very ripe bananas are easier to slide out of their peels, Dr. Brecht said, though there are other potential explanations, too. The other thing that we thought of is that the brown peel might taste disgusting, he continued. The researchers also found that her behavior changed when she had to compete with other elephants for bananas. When Pang Fa ate in group settings, she downed whole bananas as quickly as she could, one every 2 seconds, the scientists calculated, saving only the last one for peeling. If she has time, she clearly prefers the banana peel, Dr. Brecht said. None of the other elephants at the zoo have been seen peeling their fruit, despite the fact that some of them have watched Pang Fa do so repeatedly. The researchers believe that her behavior may stem from her unusual childhood experiences. When she arrived at the Berlin Zoo, she was hand-raised by a dedicated keeper, who strayed from the typical practice of doling out whole, unpeeled bananas. He thought it was stupid that they always eat the whole banana, and he peeled the bananas always for her, Dr. Brecht said. That's where we think it started. Continue reading the main story. That early experience not only gave Pang Fa an opportunity to observe banana peeling, but might have helped her develop a preference for the taste of peeled bananas, which the other elephants do not share, Dr. Brecht said. Still, Richard Byrne, an expert on the evolution of cognitive and social behavior at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland, said that the evidence for observational learning was weak. She does not show anything like the same motor actions as people peeling bananas, nor could she do so, he said in an email. To me, this looks much more like a taste preference, with which I sympathize, and it makes good nutritional sense to avoid eating decayed skin where there is leisure to do so. Pang Fa's daughter, Anjali, skips the peeling step, though she does sometimes benefit from the fruit of Pang Fa's labor. Often, Dr. Brecht said, Pang Fa would peel the banana and her daughter would eat the peel. Imagine T-Rex. Now imagine it with lips. The apex dinosaur's terrifying teeth were sheathed in lip-like tissue, some paleontologists say. Imagine them more akin to Komodo dragons than crocodiles. Brimming with serrated teeth bigger than bananas, Tyrannosaurus rex's fanged maw is iconic. Many depictions of the prehistoric predator show its teeth sticking out even when its mouth is closed, like a snaggle-toothed crocodile. However, some paleontologists think T-Rexes need some serious lip filler. In a study published Thursday in Science, researchers posit that tyrannosaurs and related dinosaurs kept their dagger-like dentition hidden behind lip-like tissue. And while some critics are giving them lip about it, the study's authors say it's time we rethink what the apex dinosaur's mouth looked like as it tore into prey. While birds are the closest living relatives to theropod dinosaurs, the group that included mega-predators like T-Rex, their specialized beaks tell scientists little about dinosaur mouths. So researchers have often turned to crocodiles, whose exposed teeth poke directly out of the jaw with no lip-like tissue covering them. Even when a crocodile's jaws are shut, its teeth are visible. This has led many scientists and artists to depict lipless dinosaurs with their chompers constantly on display. One of the most influential depictions is the Tyrannosaurus from Jurassic Park. That animal has been copied so many times, said Mark Whitten, a paleo-artist and researcher at the University of Portsmouth in England, who has been illustrating lipped theropods for around a decade. It carried that lipless look into pop culture to the point where we are now struggling to get rid of it. The University of Portsmouth in England, who has been illustrating lipped theropods for around a decade. It carried that lipless look into pop culture to the point where we are now struggling to get rid of it. The University of Portsmouth in England, who has been illustrating lip theropods for around a decade. It carried that lipless look into pop culture to the point where we are now struggling to get rid of it. The University of Portsmouth in England, who has been illustrating lip theropods for around a decade. It carried that lipless look into pop culture to the point where we are now struggling to get rid of it.